and get your fish on. He's here. He's here. We have a little technical difficulty. He's having to restart his Wi-Fi at home, and then he will be on with us. Hey, Caro, how you doing? How's everybody doing tonight? Here he is. He's back in action.
Yes.
Aha! Looking good, man.
Dude, it makes no sense how many problems you have, with modems still to this day that you need to turn them off or turn them back on. I mean, it just doesn't. It shouldn't happen like this anymore.
I know it. I know, man. What can you say?
It is what it is. So how are you, man? It's been forever.
I know it has been forever. I'm doing great.
You know, you give you take off a couple weeks, and some of us fanboys start freaking out a little bit.
Well, I miss doing shows with you. I think we have a good time together.
Yeah.
Whether anybody likes them or not, we still have a pretty good time.
I don't give a crap.
And that's all that matters.
And this it's been a good couple weeks. I mean, for fishing anyway, fishing tournament wise.
Definitely. Been some fun tournaments to watch. We're going to talk about the Classic some tonight, and maybe some others. Who knows?
I think the last time we did it, we were just going to state championships, weren't we? Was that that week?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we had Thomas had a good showing, maybe not the best showing, but it was learning and really he's going against kids that have gone through puberty and that are like he's in that 11 12.
Yeah, right.
He's going against kids that are at that just about to turn 13. Like one kid turned 13 the Monday after the tournament.
Oh, right.
So, I think he finished top 15 in the state overall.
So that's pretty awesome.
It was pretty good. He had a couple little minor things that just happened. I will be putting one video online now that it's been a couple weeks. Now that I can show it and now not worry about him taking it personal. And
yeah.
And it's fun. It's you have kids. It's so rewarding to see them do well.
Oh, for sure.
And at the same time, you're like I've had to step back my competitiveness in the last year. Like I'm like one of those guys that I just can't. I don't like getting beat. I just don't.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of go, okay, this isn't a sprint. This is a marathon for this young man. So, I'm just, you're so proud of your kids, and it's so fun to watch. And you want to know what's more fun for me is like he's been talking smack to some of the bigger kids in the group about fishing. I love it. I love it.
That's great.
So, everybody's been asking, Steve spawned yet in Florida? They spawned a month and a half ago.
Yeah, spawn's come and gone, huh?
Yeah, it's come and gone. I actually, I put I don't know if you saw that short. I put a GoPro in the water on a bed.
Yeah.
And that bass was guarding the fry.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I thought it would, like, when I was looking at the water, I'm like, this water's gin clear. Yeah. And then I put that thing in there. I'm like, holy crap, that GoPro. It didn't like get but 3 or 4 feet away.
Yeah.
After that, it was just mush. So
it certainly didn't look gin clear from.
It didn't.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. But everybody's been asking me about the new Super 6 sack.
Yes.
They're just calling it the 6 sack. It's not super anymore, guys.
Has it ever been super?
It was. It had moments of glory, man. It did. But I don't know. I hope that I had a little something to do with that. I mean, obviously, I'm not naive enough to think that they really listen to me, but
I bet you did.
well, it sounds like they're doing exactly what I've been saying. Please give us some new baits. They're going a step further. They're kind of taking the Carl's Club route. We're saying, hey, if you're a member, if you signed up, we're going to give you the exclusive stuff first. So, let's see if they do.
Are you going to stick with them?
No.
Out the door.
If they want to send it to me, heck yeah, I'll do the videos on them and stuff. But I'm not gonna resubscribe. I love their products, but I don't really need the sack anymore.
I've said this, and we talked about this. I've said this for years. Oh, what was that?
That was my phone.
Oh, that's a weird like text message thing getting. Mine just buzzes. I think that's, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think it's better just to order what you want from them.
Yeah.
And even though you get a little bit of a discount, I think it's better to do it.
Yeah.
That way. And you'll get the products that you want.
Yeah. I would agree with that. One of the reasons that I started getting subscription boxes and why I've continued to get them is because so many times I get sent something in a subscription box that I would never go buy myself.
Exactly.
And then when I try it, I'm like, hey, that was pretty darn cool. I'm glad they sent me that. So there's still that, but from a financial point of view, especially if you're on a budget, you're watching your pennies, or you've got a certain amount of money that you can spend on tackle every month or whatever. I don't know how much sense it makes to spend your first $40 on a subscription box,
I don't think it makes any sense in that case. I think if you want to try new stuff and you're really into getting tackle, then a subscription box works good and not great.
Yeah.
I think the only one that's great is FTC. I think the other ones just have a setback with, that you get like Lunker Hunt, or you get, no offense, Live Target crap, and you get get stuff that you've seen 4 or 5 years ago, and then and they're pawning it off as new stuff.
Yeah.
If it didn't work 5 years ago, it doesn't work now.
Yeah. Like this here. This is kind of no good.
Yeah, I think I almost texted you. I got that one last year, and rest in peace, Topwater Johnny. He and I went fishing one day, and I had that out at the pond that he and I go fish.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'll catch a fish with that without any problem." I said, I cut it off my lure instantly. I said, "Here you go. you go this way. I'm going this way. We'll see."
Yeah.
And he, hey, Gramps, I'm not joking. He had that thing on for 2.5 hours, never got one bite, and I caught like 19.
Wow.
And I was saying to him, I said, "Dude, I'm just telling you, it just doesn't. It's almost like a swim bait, like a shallow water crankbait.
Yeah.
It has that's, but at the same time, it really isn't." So, yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Lunker Hunt, Alan. That like that specific bait there, I think has a very little window where it's effective, and the rest of the time you probably shouldn't be throwing that bait. I'm glad the six sack is changing, and they're putting brand new products with new lures and never before seen stuff. I think if a guy's going to be loyal to you and give you $40 every month, you should do that for him. I still think kind of I have been surprised at how many deals I've gotten over the past year, though, having a Carl's Club membership. When that first came out years ago, I thought, I don't need a Carl's Club membership. What's that? But the amount of discounts that they give you on tackle, as much tackle as I buy, I have saved a ton of money using them. And the other thing I love about that which other companies should do, and I think the Six Sack is kind of catching on to this, is if you really stick to, we're going to make this exclusive by separating stuff that only members can get, even if it's for a short window, 2 weeks. For the first 2 weeks, that's what they did with this baby bull gill. The new Jekyll colors. This here came out brand new. The only place you could buy it is at Carl's Club, so that was smart. Everybody knows that the Mike Bucca products are really good, and guess what? This special color, only the members can get it for the first, whatever it was, 2 weeks or whatever. That's cool. There's a lot of guys who'd be all over that.
Oh, I agree with you. Because there's too many times you go to 6 Cents, and as soon as they put a new product out, it's sold out instantly.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, how many did they buy for them to sell out this fast? Or how many did they make?
In fact, people are saying that the Six Sack subscription's already sold out.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to get it, it's too late now.
Yeah. I'm not a subscriber of it. Like I said, I just think it's easier just to go and get the products that I want when I want them, and then do it that way.
Yep.
But
you still do subscribe, like you still subscribe to Florida, right?
I'm only doing 2 now. I subscribe to Florida and Major League Fishing. I got rid of Bass Baits Monthly just recently. I think I told you the day I did it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I think I got to a point where I'm seeing the same thing, not the same products over, but I don't see the value in it. I think there's got to be a value to me getting that. And then when I looked at it, I was getting a 10% discount, which really confused me. Because I was like, why are they giving me a discount?
Yeah.
Then when I started thinking of, I was paying, roughly $47 if I didn't have that discount. And there were times I was only getting $43, $44 in the box.
Yeah.
That's where I started going. If they would have never sent me that email saying I got the 10% discount, I probably still would be with them. But then I was like, how is this possible? Because, and they commented on one of the things saying, you're wrong on your calculations. And I said, no, if I go to Tackle Warehouse, then this is what the price would be on all that stuff. And it was $42. So, I just couldn't do it anymore. And really what it comes down to is they're just giveaway baits. I mean, the boxes are sitting behind me, and someone's going to get them. I don't take anything out of them.
Yeah.
Here's how bad some of them have been. One of Thomas's swim coaches came over yesterday, and her and her boyfriend are just starting to learn to fish. And I said, look, you're welcome to take anything in this room. You are like a daughter to us. We appreciate how much you've helped Thomas, blah, 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 blah. And her boyfriend looked through 3 months of the Bass Baits Monthly, and he didn't pull one lure out, and he's new to fishing. So it was like, oh my gosh, this is something else. Because into the Florida Tackle Club, he tried to grab the gillies out. I'm like, no, you can't have those.
Those are hard to find, man. I mean, I've been looking all over for gillies in my local shops. I'm sure I could still get them online. They don't have them.
I think that they were supposed to come. I mean, technically, they had a group come in like February, January, and they sold them all to like Tackle Warehouse or Tackle Direct and all those. And they sold out instantly, or they had so many pre-orders that they sold out already. And then I haven't seen them on Tackle Warehouse, but I should say I haven't been to Tackle Warehouse in a really, really long time.
Gramps is asking you about your Temple Fork rods.
I'm absolutely loving them. I absolutely, I mean, I'm not joking. I love the rods. I bought a couple graph or whatever they are, and then I bought both ones. I bought a couple bait casters. I bought a couple spinning, or I shouldn't say bought, but you know what I mean. Got, and then Old Trusty's been put away. I mean, I'm only fishing TFO rods right now. I like the action. They feel good. I gotta say, I'm not really a cork person. I like the wind grips. It's what I've always loved.
Oh, really?
But I'm finding out on the glass rods, the cork is so soft in your palm that I'm using that rod, which is a less expensive rod than the other ones. So it's been a real surprise, But there'll be a video at some point. There's just too many other things I've been working on.
Weren't they? Didn't they start out, or weren't they primarily like saltwater people or something?
Yeah. They have some great saltwater rods, and actually, they make some great fly rods. Some really good fly rods.
Okay.
So that's I knew them from fly rods for years ago, and then I think they just recently started going. Fly fishing is 1% of the whole, $5.8 billion that is spent on fishing tackle.
Right.
78%, yes, 78% of it's bass fishing.
Yeah.
So not having a bass fishing rod is kind of crazy in the grand scheme of it.
Right. That doesn't completely make sense.
Yeah. So yeah, while it was a little bit of a change, when I made the switch, I think the biggest thing I noticed was they don't have a real long handle on the end. You know what I mean? Where your reel is here.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call that part of it.
Yeah,
and I'm used to having one that would come down about here on me.
Yeah.
These ones come to here, so I'm finding myself casting a little bit different. But I'll be honest, like I absolutely killed them with the Rat Benny from Thunderhawk Lures the other day. I mean, it was stupid fishing. I don't even know what happened that day. But I said to myself, there was a hanging feeder for the bluegill, and I said, oh my God, it'd be so good if I could just hit that thing and ricochet it off and land it in a pocket that I couldn't do it. And I cast, hit where I meant to cast, it ricocheted and landed right where I wanted it, and I caught a giant fish on that cast.
That's awesome. That's cool. Well, that Rat Benny looks like the real deal the way you were catching him, man.
Yeah, that Rat Benny. So I put that post on the, I don't even know what it's called, the community page the other day.
Yeah, community.
And that thing was just, it was so weird. I mean, I hate to admit that when I do those closer looks, I go fishing, but I really don't go fishing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure it does.
You're like, you have a drone in the air and you have a good camera, and you're so focused on making sure that lure goes in the spot that you want it to go so you can get the reaction. And then you put everything there and you make a first cast, and it doesn't go 3 feet and a bass comes up and eats it. You're like, okay, what's going on here? What is happening here? And I think I only made I want to say, I told someone I made 10 casts. I think I probably made 12 when I thought of it. I caught 5 fish, or I missed one. 5 strikes on 12 casts with that lure.
Yeah, that's more than a 50% ratio. That's pretty freaking awesome.
And lost one absolute monster.
Huh.
And it was funny. Dan Fay, I think his YouTube or his Twitter, or I don't know, whatever the other things are, the kids dancing, whatever it is. He has a ton of people. It's called the D-Famous Fishing or something like that. He's a close friend. He's one of the owners of Gecko. So he called me today, and I said, we were talking about the miss, and he's like, do you know why you missed it? And I said, I saw that fish coming at my bait from about 5 feet away. And as it opened its mouth, I actually started setting the hook. And then I set the hook while it was doing one of these bits.
Yeah.
And it's TikTok. And I just pulled it completely out of its mouth.
Yep.
And you You win some, you lose some, man.
It's true. It's true. I hate to tell you this, but we do have a potential crisis on our hands because I went to 3 different restaurants this week, and they were completely out of Dr. Pepper. Completely out. And when I went through, the last one I went through was Chick-fil-A this morning, and he said the same thing. Sorry, we're out of Dr. Pepper. And I was like, WTF? What are you talking about? I said, this is a conspiracy, man. Everywhere I'm going, what is going on? He said, I don't know. Our supplier's out. And
that happens with my Coke Zero.
Yeah.
Oh, that's at my Publix all the time. I know it's crazy. Well, this is not fishing oriented at all. I go to my Publix's. We just had a Publix built right around the corner. It's like really 2 minutes from the house.
Yeah. Publix is a grocery store, by the way, if you don't know.
Yeah.
They don't have them in my part of the world.
Oh, you don't? Great store. They do homemade bread or fresh bread, all this stuff. It's a great store. But they, you go in the afternoons from, let's say, 4 or 5 to 8 o'clock. And on a daily basis, they're either out of ground beef or chicken or pork or something almost every day. And Ray is right. I do eat hot dogs with ketchup and mustard. I eat turkey hot dogs, like you mentioned.
That's a shame, man. We had a big conversation about this on my last show.
You did?
Hot dogs with mustard only. Mustard only.
Oh, no. Ketchup and mustard.
All right.
Actually, you want to know what my favorite thing is? What? Chili hot dogs with no beans.
Oh, man. I like chili hot dogs, too. But I like the beans.
The wife doesn't like the beans.
I like the chili
dog. I close her off in those.
Yeah.
I hotbox my wife.
Yeah, we still have a little shortage here and there. I don't know what the deal is, but man, a staple like Dr. Pepper should never run out. I mean, that's critical.
I agree with you. Okay, so did you go through? I think I heard the whole thing. Did you go through the whole story about your fishing tournament?
Yeah, I went through it all.
Okay, Probably one of my favorite stories you've ever told.
Holy crap, man! That's just like the fishing gods are just they hate me, man.
How do you get them 2 years in a row?
I don't know, man. It's just like. And, as many of these tournaments as I've gotten, I've never gotten a repeat. My buddy Joe has had several repeats. He said, you're going to get one someday. And wouldn't you know it, the one time I get a repeat, the only time I get a repeat was with this dude.
So when you get the news that you have a repeat, in all honesty, don't sugarcoat it. What is the first thing you said in your head?
I can't say it on air. I was so pissed.
Yes.
I was so mad. What's so ironic is the very day before, my buddies and I were on the ramp. We were practicing, and while we were loading the boat back to go home for the night, he was there at the ramp, and I said hi to him, and how's it going, and how you been the last year. And then as we were leaving, I told my buddies, I said, that dude is the worst fisherman I've ever fished with in my entire life. I said, if I ever got picked with him again, I'd kill myself, or I'd kill him, or there's just no way I would fish with that dude ever again. And then bam, the very next day.
Dude, I was laughing so hard at you when I was driving that day. I almost had to pull off the road.
Look at Booster, 2 rookies on top of the MLF Pro Series one.
Greco won, yeah. Great from Tampa Bay.
What do you know?
Good, really good angler. If we can jump into this, just because I have MLF down. Michael Neal finished top 10.
Whoa.
And if you haven't kept up with Michael, he wants off that pro circuit or that back. He's fishing all the opens to requalify for the elites.
Oh, yes, huh?
So
Well, Timmy Horton's pulling out too.
Is he?
Yeah, I mean, what he said. He put a post up a couple days ago, and what he basically said was, "I want to spend more time with my family, and I want to focus more time on my TV show. So I'm getting out of tournament fishing. I'm not going to do it anymore."
I think he's
So
one of the original owners of Major.
he is, and he's also one of the owners of Profound Outdoors, isn't he?
Yeah,
I think he is anyway. So I mean, he's knee deep in MLF. He would. There's no way he'd ever do the bass thing. But yeah, sounds like he's just not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting because when he was a young dude, he won a lot of tournaments, and it seemed like the older he got, kind of the less he won. But man, when he was young, he was on fire in the early days.
Yeah, he hasn't done well at Major League Fishing.
No, he hasn't at all.
I would love to have, and I know this would be a very controversial topic. I would love to have a frank discussion on who we think is the most overrated angler.
Really? Dude. The problem with having that kind of a discussion is you're going to really upset some people.
Yeah. Well, that would be the whole thing. I mean, there was an article written years ago, and it offended somebody, and that person's wife, emailed other people and called them out and so forth. And but I think you got, like, maybe the better way to put it is, who is the angler who hasn't Raypod?
Alan, yes, we can both see the comments.
Yes, we both can see the comments. Who is the angler that hasn't won the big tournament or hasn't won a tournament and is, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's the better way to do it, because there's a lot of guys who are great anglers that haven't been up there.
Well, does great, this is kind of the same argument they have with football QBs, like, Dan Marino never won the big one.
Yeah.
So was he never? I mean, to me, Dan Marino was a Hall of Famer. I don't care. He was amazing. He was absolutely amazing, but he wasn't Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady's won like 7 freaking Super Bowls and been to 12 or 13. But is winning a tournament necessary to be considered a great angler, on the professional circuit?
Yeah, it's like Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Arguably one of the top 5 power forwards to ever play basketball. Didn't win. However, the thing about fishing is it's you. It isn't a team sport. So there's people like, even like Jason. I think years until now, people would have said, Jason had those 2 years where he could have won or came in second place. I'm not saying he's overrated by any means, because Jason's one of the best anglers to ever live. But maybe the person who hasn't won a big tournament, because, I saw something on here, Scott Martin, he's won a bunch of AOLs on FLW.
Yeah. And he's won a lot of tournaments on FLW. He hasn't won anything on bass, but this is his first season.
Yeah.
Bass.
Yeah, second season. Is it first or second?
I think last year's when he qualified with the Opens.
But you can't put the Guggen kids in there because they're not really tournament anglers. And to be honest, knowing what I know about the Guggen kids and the Classic, what I've heard from everybody, they absolutely killed everything at the Classic. And by everything, I mean, I heard that at one point in time, to get an autograph or a picture, the line was 4 times longer than people going to see Bill dance.
Yeah, I know it, man. They're super popular. But that has to do more with just social media popularity than it does with who's a great angler.
Yes.
Come on, let's face it, and not to disparage the Googans, but the Googans, they're weekend fishermen, man. They're not tournament fishermen.
Yeah, you can't
They're,
compare the Guggen kids with Bill Dance. I mean,
no,
and
they just
the younger crowd that does YouTube is so much different than us old people that know the history behind fishing. Because quite honestly, if you don't laugh at those outtakes from Daddy and Bill Dance, something's wrong with you. Because they're that good and that funny.
That's right. Gramps is right. They relate to the kids on social media, and the kids don't relate to geezers,
Yeah.
even like us. I mean, they just don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. When I heard about the autograph session, they said it went out the door, and then it went around the block, and then around the back end of the building in Tulsa. And people
crazy.
were like, I don't even know how this even worked.
Yeah.
LFG is, some of them are still doing tournaments. One of them is, I don't know his name though, right off the top of my, Rob Turkla is with MLF.
Yeah, Turkla. Yeah.
And
I like Turkla, actually. I like him quite a bit.
Yeah. I think what's his name? I don't even know his name. One of them makes fantastic videos. Fantastic videos.
Are you talking about the Lake Fork guy?
No, not him. I met him, and not Rob. Oh my gosh, I don't even know.
I don't even know their name. I know them if I hear them, but
yeah,
John B's one of them.
John
Right?
B. That's who. Yeah. John B. makes unbelievable videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with everybody. But I mean, to hear what I heard about that, about people waiting in line. Someone said they waited 4 hours to get their autograph. And that's ridiculous.
It looks like Morgan wouldn't stand in line for a Guggen autograph. Yeah, I think it's an interesting question, though. I mean, we were talking, about old Bernie. Bernie's done amazing things for the sport. He's an absolute professional fisherman. There's no question. But he's never won the big one. He's never won the blue trophy. Somebody said G-Man on here has never won a blue trophy. He has won AOI, a couple of times? I know he's won it at least once.
Yeah, he's won it twice. I thought he won a tournament. There was one year where he was like, every tournament was in his backyard when he won AOI.
Yeah.
I think, Bernie. So what? Have we ever had Bernie on here?
No. We've talked about it, but we haven't had him on. I mean, he's such had such an amazing career.
So Bernie is the one thing about Bernie. Like if I see like a young angler that says to me, well, what should I do to become a pro? I tell them, look what Bernie Schultz does all the time.
Yeah.
Always at every event that his sponsors need.
Yeah.
Every event.
Yeah.
Constantly doing other things to make his net worth for that company better. He's a great promoter. He's a really good angler, and
not just a bass angler either, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's saltwater fishing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So he's like the most honest person in the world. Like, I guess I can tell this story. So we have a clam restoration here, and they wanted a whole bunch of pros to come like show up. So they had him, and they had Shaw Grigsby and Bobby Lane showed up. A whole bunch of really great friends, and of all things, there was supposed to be a pro sitting at every table, but the pros kind of want to sit together and mingle. So
yeah.
Shaw and I see each other, and instantly it's like, he's like, who are you having dinner with? I'm like, I don't know who they're sitting me with. And he's like, you and I are sitting together. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So then I go tell the person that's handling, I'm like, I'm sitting wherever Shaw's sitting. And they're like, okay. And then the next thing I know, so every pro is at one table with me. And the only people that are talking is Shaw, myself, and what's his name? I've already forgotten his name. And we're just sitting there. They don't have any inhibition to not just keep it real, and
Oh yeah.
it just makes life so much easier.
Talking
And
about Bernie.
yeah, Bernie. And while you have to be careful what you repeat to other people, it was one of those nights. I think that night and the night I spent 3.5 hours talking to Aaron Martins about fishing Florida was arguably the two best times I've ever had, just strictly talking fishing. So
A lot of guys are saying Randy Blockett is overrated. I'd say that's probably true. Um, of course, back in the '80s, I wasn't watching all the tournaments every week, and it looks like he was fairly competitive, in the mid to early '80s. But I,
so
I,
Randy,
he's got a YouTube channel, so that's good.
I don't watch Randy's thing, and there's been a couple times where I would love to talk to him and completely debate him on a couple of things that he said. One of them about the rap is, I can tell you only from people that I know that own companies would completely go, he's completely off his rocker on that one. And some of the sponsorship stuff, but what he does, I give him a lot of credit because doesn't he put a video up a day?
He does one every day. He's
tough.
Yeah, that is really tough, and I commend him for that. And the problem is, no angler, even KVD, I don't think has enough content to put a decent video out every day.
Yeah,
and that's his problem. Most of these videos are just kind of laughable. It's like one of my buddies was talking about some of his videos, and I was like, listen, dude, if you want to know what the super secret lure is that no one knows about, that he has never told anybody on the planet, he's got 200 of those super secret videos right now. The super secret way to fish a worm, the super secret way to put a trailer on a jig, the super secret way to file your jerkbait hooks. I mean, on and on and on. The pros are going to be so mad at me for sharing this super secret thing.
It's called clickbait.
Yeah, it's freaking, come on, give me a break. But hey, maybe I should start doing it. I should start making super secret videos every single day of secrets that are not secrets that everybody under the sun knows about. The last super secret thing I remember seeing of him, which was a few weeks ago, was he took the skirt off of a chatterbait and put a tube on there. Super secret, secret, amazing. Putting a tube on the back of a chatterbait. I go down to Lake of the Ozarks, down there for that tournament. There's like 15 guys down there throwing chatterbaits with tubes on them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a secret. New hot sauce for fishing. That's right.
Jersey Fisherman said that's what the Google algorithm wants. That isn't what the Google algorithm wants. They want quality content, but it's all on how many people like that video. That's really the thing that pushes the algorithm up and down.
Yeah.
Like I said, I watched the video the other day. I swear to you, I was so mad after watching it. If I could have known this person, they put a video of, it's a swimming video. I was doing some stuff for Thomas.
Yeah.
And the guy has this picture of Caleb Dressel in the background. And it said, I beat him. We're freaking out. We clicked it. We watched 14 minutes of this damn video. Not one time is Caleb Dressel in the video.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point.
So they got me on the time, because that's really the biggest thing. How the audience retention is the other thing YouTube likes more than anything. So they got me on the audience retention because we watched every second of it. They got me to click on it. So it was just like, you've got to be kidding me. And it's
Okay.
one of the things that I try not to do. I try not to do any clickbait stuff. I just don't think it's right. I know
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
but
It is kind of disappointing that that's, if that's what they're looking for. But for our exclusive audience, I am going to give you guys a super secret right now. You cannot tell anyone.
just
No one knows about this. And I am going to let the cat out of the bag on this super secret before Randy lets it out, because he's going to have a video on this probably next week. And that is, if you want to catch more fish on a frog, you might can frog fish down in
I
Florida
would.
now. You can't frog fish where I'm at yet, but in a few months you're going to be frog fishing. And if you want to catch more fish on a hollow bodied frog,
Tell them.
this is the secret right here. I'm going to show it just for a second.
That's too much. You're giving away too much. You're giving away too much.
You've got to have frog fur.
Frog fur or no fur?
Frog fur is the secret, and almost nobody knows that. So I've let it out the bag. Don't tell anybody. And if you want more ideas on how to fish a frog fur frog, I'm sure Randy will have a video up on it shortly.
Yeah, but and the thumbnail will be a worm. Hey, we got to say happy birthday to Hank.
Yeah, who's Hank?
Hank Snow Outdoors. That's our boy.
Oh, Hank Snow Outdoors' his birthday today?
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Actually, hold on. I'll do this right. Hank. I'm just going to text him. Happy birthday. Love you, bro. See how long it takes him to reply.
Yeah, Fisherman 83, you're sharing even more secrets on this. I didn't even want to tell people that if you put another Velcro patch on the bottom of your frog, you got to glue it on there with super glue. The hookup ratio goes up exponentially. You will not freaking believe it. And then there's another super secret. If you can put frog fur Velcro on the sides, holy crap. You can probably catch 5 at once.
You don't even use the hooks then. It just snags them and brings them in.
You don't even need hooks. Man, that's fantastic.
Take the hooks off that thing and there you go.
100% hookup ratio, right on, Gramps.
So I don't want to. I'm not going to say the lure that had. I tested this frog years ago, and then when I was like, every time I talk to the person, they're like, it's an 85% hookup ratio, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing wrong? I'm 0 for like 55. And I finally had to say to them, how long have you used this thing? And they were like, oh no, we've done really well. And I caught 5 out of 6. And I'm like, you're not using it that well. Don't want to say the name of the company though. Hank says that. Thank you, by the way.
Right on. Well, this is one of those funny things where, until this is one thing that one of the things I try to do. I know you try to do it as well. I obviously don't know everything. There's a lot I don't know. I freely admit that. But I think Gramps does this too. I've watched enough of his channel to say, I think I could trust Gramps to be honest. I think I could trust you to be honest with your audience. You're not really going to bamboozle them. But there's a lot of people out there that even the ones that you think are not trying to bamboozle you, they'll do things like, hey, this is my sponsor. You got to go buy this, baby. It's incredible. Watch me go catch fish on it. Then they go out with a Senko. They catch fish. They pull them in the boat. They put them on these hooks. Then they take pictures and videos. Look at the way this amazing thing. That's why, when I'm fishing, I let you see the whole process. Watch me cast. Watch me reel. Watch me catch it. Here it is. Good, bad, or indifferent.
Have I ever told the story about laser lure on here?
I know you've told me, but it's a good story. You should tell it again.
Okay. And hey, everybody. News at 11. Mr. Bass doesn't know everything. That's a good comment.
That is a good comment.
I like that. Okay.
Good job, Dan. You're right.
Years ago, there was a lure that came out called the laser lure. And it had Mike Iaconelli as a pro staffer. It had all sorts of stuff. Well, the owner was right down the street. And he was a friend. He was a friend of a friend. And they were like, we need photos taken of this lure in fish's mouth. So we went to a friend's house that was this pond is absolutely loaded with the biggest fish you could imagine at the time. I think it drained it, dried out a little bit, but it was stacked with big bass. And this guy would go to his thing was he was going to SeaWorld and putting the laser on the window of the Shamu enclosures, and he was saying that Shamu was going crazy over this. He was killing everybody. So they call me and they're like, look, can you come out and take photos for us? I'm like, of course. How much are you going to pay me? And they're like, well, this, and we'll give you a bunch of lures. And I'm like, okay, if it's that good, I'll do it. Now, mind you, I'm young, dumb, and you know what? I'm a lot younger.
Sure.
So I take 5 days off at AAA. If people don't know, I used to work for AAA. I take a week off. We're going to fish a week at this private pond. We go 4 days. 5 people casting and casting and casting. We don't catch one fish in 4 days.
Really?
On the 5th day, I say, I'm going to Bidders. I'm buying 4 dozen wild shiners. We're trolling 2 of those shiners behind the boat from here out. If we catch something, we're putting that lure inside the fish's face. So we end up slaughtering fish on this day. So we get the pictures, and then he says to me, I want to go catch the 50-inch red drum. I'm like, on this lure? We're never going to catch shit on this lure. It's the worst lure that I've ever seen in my life. We end up going 3 days. I mean, you can't imagine how a redfish would come. Like, if you've ever been red fishing, a lot of times you lead the fish kind of like you're throwing a football to a receiver. You need to know where they're going to go, so you lead them because you see them in water.
Yeah.
You usually cast 10 or 15 feet in front of them, and then you start reeling it back in. I mean, you can't imagine. We had a guide that, I mean, he didn't miss one bad cast in 3 days. Finally, I said, take me to the store. Let's kill a ladyfish and let's do it. And we end up having to get ladyfish and then put the lure in the face mouth. And this happens a lot in the industry.
I know it does.
A lot.
Yeah.
You would be unbelievably surprised how much this happens. And
it's usually not necessarily because the lures are bad. Sometimes they are bad. Yeah, a lot of time, but a lot of times it's we got a window. We only got 3 hours to film.
Exactly.
We got to catch some fish. So you throw we'll catch a fish, and that's. But what about the Banjo Minnow? I'm glad someone mentioned the Banjo Minnow because most people really slam this.
I caught fish on the Banjo Minnow.
Yeah, my buddy Joe has caught tons of fish on the Banjo Minnow, and he was telling me last week because we went out fishing together, and he took the Banjo Minnows with him, and he was telling me about as a co-angler fishing in the back of the boat with the Banjo Minnow and just whacking his pro.
Yeah,
so some of those baits get a bad rap.
This was actually named the worst lure ever created.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
They're still selling it though. You can still go buy it.
Yeah, I don't know how. It was funny because I saw Iaconelli at the Classic, and he was behind it. It was before he married his wife, and I remember saying, I took that picture, and he's like, "You've caught fish on this?" I go, "No, we didn't." And I go, "How much are they paying you?" And he's like, "You don't even want to know how much they're paying me." And I bet you he never caught a fish on it either. and he was sponsored them. He probably made 30 grand on the whole deal.
Ray, I don't know about timeline as far.
At one point in time was probably the most successful lure one year. They did all that campaign online, and you saw it all over cable TV. And then the next thing you know, I mean, the video caught your attention, and you really thought, I'm guilty of it. I watched the commercial and went, that's going to make me catch thousands of fish. I need it. You can get the upgrade for a little bit more. I think I spent $100 on the Banjo Minnow. Probably didn't have it to spend, but I did, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
hey, Booster, I like those man's hard nosed baits as well. I've got the hard nosed topwater frogs, and those man's hard nose you can't buy anymore. I think they're totally discontinued. But that was a good bait. I don't, baits come and go though.
Yeah. I mean, we could do, like I said, it'd be controversial to do the most overrated angler that's never won a tournament.
Yeah, it would be.
I have one in my mind that just bothers me, and I don't want to say his name because I don't want everyone going crazy. But I have one person that I don't get how he's a professional angler. I know he does social media well, but I don't think I've never seen him do well in 15 years of fishing. And I'm like, how is he on the Bass Pro Circuit? He doesn't deserve to be on the Bass Pro Circuit. But I think there's other guys out there that would be, on that verge that you go, if this guy won, it might take him to the next level. Because I mean, think of what Jason Christie just did at the Classic.
Yeah,
he just stepped into another realm of professional angler because of it.
That's for sure.
I mean, Hank Cherry has never won a regular tournament, but he's won 2 Classics, and everyone loves the dude.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I mean, I think that's a huge statement to the world if you can win a Classic.
Getting to the Classic is the hardest part. Winning it once you get there is the easiest part. That's what
it's the smallest. It's the smallest playing field of any professional tournament out there.
Yeah, because it's 52 people, and no offense to the Bass Nation guys who win and those guys. You can kind of put those 10 guys out of it, but even though some of them do well, like that Taylor Smith did really well this year, are they ever in contention, really? They might have 1 or 2 good days, but it's still the cream always rises to the top. And like with Jason, I mean, I hate to say this, I knew Jason was going to win. I knew it.
Yeah.
It just felt everything worked out in his favor.
I really thought he was going to win it after day 2, but when day 3 started, it was kind of intense, man. That whole day, I was telling you, I watched most of it that day, and I couldn't tell with the Bass Track Live or whatever they call it. One minute it looked like Kyle had it, and the next minute it looked like Jason had it, and then the next minute it looked like Hunter Shyrock had it, and I mean, it was just like, dude, who's going to win this thing? And that's the one thing that I like about bass over Major League Fishing is there's some intensity. There's some still unknown, there's some drama, even down to the weigh-in. And when Christie had to come up with how much was it? Was it 17 and a half pounds or something on the last day, or 19 and a half pounds? I think it was 17 and a half. I didn't think he had it. I was telling my buddy, I said, I think he's got maybe 15 and a half pounds. I don't think he can make it.
Oh, no. You're talking about Christie? He's sandbagged the whole way. Yeah. I can't even tell that one story that you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's forbidden for me to tell.
Yeah.
He is always sandbagging.
Yes, yeah. It was an exciting tournament to watch, though. It really was. And I had a blast watching that. And that's my one criticism, I'd say, of Major League Fishing is it can get really boring, especially if the guy winning is just crushing them. And sometimes that happens, A dude will have 65 pounds and then in second place will be 30 pounds. And you're like, nobody's catching him today.
Nobody.
This whole day is going to be a waste.
I think you realize how much you appreciate the Classic when they have that closeness, or someone comes from behind to win.
Yeah.
I think that this year, I think Jason even said it, because I didn't get to watch the first couple days because swimming.
Yeah.
And excuse me. Sunday, we left swimming at like 12 o'clock, and I drove like a madman to get home so I could watch the final weigh-in. And I think it's fun to see. You could tell that Jason was unsure that he was going to win when he stepped up on that stage.
Yeah.
Kyle had, I don't even know what Kyle had, but he had 17 something. And you could see it. It kind of looked for a millisecond like, he had that smile that he was happy, but it was the oh shit smile. And he was
right. Right.
And he brought it up, and then you could see the pure joy. And Jason isn't a real easy person to talk to. He's introverted, and he's a different angler. He's he's like Greg Hackney. He's intense.
Right.
But you could see when they announced that he won, it was like pure joy, and you kind of just were like, oh, thank goodness he did it.
Yeah, I was kind of same thing. I was really, really happy for him. I really was. And you hate for that guy that's in second and that to miss it. I mean, that's got to just be devastating. But hey, how about this incredibly stupid rule they were talking about? At least I think it's totally stupid. Because they had a tie on day 2.
Yeah.
And they were saying on day 3, if we have a tie for the win, they've got to go back out tomorrow and fish sudden death, and the first guy that catches a fish is the winner.
Have you ever seen the time that Mike Iaconelli, and I don't know who it was, they did that?
Yeah, I did see that.
And Iaconelli, like, they get out, and the guy catches one right instantly. Iaconelli throws a fit, breaks his rod over his thing, is swearing all sorts of stuff. And it's like, is this really how you want to win? Like, I mean, it was years ago, but it was still great.
Well, I mean, yeah, the drama of that one fish off is exciting, but it seems so stupid to do it the next day.
Yeah,
I would say go right back out right now. Go do it, and let's get this thing over with.
You're right. Yeah, you got plenty of time to go out there and do it.
Yeah. To me, to drag it on for another day seems so ridiculous.
So there's something else to that. If that ever happens, it just screws bass beyond belief.
Yeah, because it's your big final day, and then you don't get to celebrate, and then the next day everybody's gone back to work, and your audience has got just in the crap in the toilet.
They also have a champion's toast after the thing that certain people are allowed in.
Yeah.
Free drinks and free everything. They hire a big catering company and hire a room out. And then if that were to happen, they'd be out $20,000 or $30,000.
Yeah. That's something in it.
And not to mention, most of the guys, they stay an extra day, but they're ready to go as soon as it's over.
Right.
Of course they are. $1,000 and they're done.
Yeah.
They're out.
Yeah, for sure.
But when you have the family, imagine, just think about this. A lot of those guys get rooms for free and stuff like that, but they get an extra room for their wife or their kids or whoever it is. And usually everyone goes home that day. I mean, the media goes home. I mean, we try to hightail it out of there as soon as it's done. I mean, I remember one year I didn't even watch the weigh-in. I left because I was going to win. So why do I need to be here?
Yeah.
So it's like it really could hurt bass if that ever happened to them. Not like they couldn't take.
Well, it didn't happen. So, Mike Dove's on. Mike was going to be on with us tonight and was tied up. So, I think he's going to just hop on my show Saturday night and talk about those jigs and the other products. So that should be fun.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff. He doesn't even have any of those rat bennies. I think I got them before him.
Yeah, I don't have one of those. I haven't tried one of those yet. I'd like to try one of those.
Yeah, it looks crushed fish the other day. It was stupid fish. It was stupid. So,
Aaron says he was marshal with Ike here last month.
Oh, no kidding.
doing the martial thing's kind of fun, and it's kind of not fun. To ride around in a boat for 8 hours with the pro is fun to watch them, but to not be able to fish, obviously you can't fish.
It makes you go crazy.
It's kind of painful. It is kind of painful. Yeah, I've done it a few times, and
I get out there with one of them with them, and if it's a practice day, I just say to them, look, I need to. I might not catch anything, but you got to give me the rod for at least 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I need to just cast something. I can't do this. So
yeah.
And I mean, they don't let me fish, to be honest, but I ask. When we get to the ramp, I cast at that point in time. I take out my own rod at that point in time. But it is what it is. They're too busy. I was supposed to be with Lattimore last week, and he didn't do me right.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Yeah, I don't. I'll tell you off stuff.
Okay.
I don't want to trash him too badly.
Okay.
I'm not a subscriber anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the class. What was your other surprise? Did you have any surprises on the classic? Did you? I mean, I liked seeing Kyle Welcher there, even though he's had a bad year so far.
Yeah, I like that too. What do you think? Do you think that he's had more checks in his short career than literally any other pro? That's a pretty amazing stat when you think about it. And you and I were talking. Was it you that was telling me that you think part of why he's so good at tournament fishing is because of his poker background?
I do.
Yeah. What's that about? Why do you think that's the case?
So, like, when I talk to other anglers or even just normal anglers, one of the things that really you start to see a difference in how pro acts is when it comes crunch time, and take Jason Christie for a perfect example. He was ahead those 2 tournaments, and he gets told that he's behind, and he starts fishing drastically faster.
Yeah. I noticed that. I think you and I talked about that. I was like, holy crap, he's really speeded up.
Yeah. And even in this tournament, it seemed like the last day he was fishing fast.
He was fishing fast.
And for whatever reason, I think Kyle has this temperament where, I don't want to say that the money doesn't matter, but he has a different way about him. I don't know if it's an air of confidence, but he just seems to, like, when I talk to him, he says, I don't rattle real easily. I can take a step back, or I think one time he told me sometimes when I think I'm fishing too fast, I start thinking of like this country song, and it makes me slow down.
Oh, really? Really?
And when you start thinking about that, I mean, we all do it. I mean,
heck yeah.
You get excited and you start fishing. You fish differently, and that lure will react different to the way you're fishing.
And sometimes you really get to see the spin out on live TV, and that's pretty amazing. Do you remember when Randall Tharp was fishing the Classic, and he basically I think he was in the lead on the last day, and he's fishing back in this cove. I think it was at Gunnersville, but I could be wrong. And he lost this huge fish out on a brush pile. And when that happened, he just kind of agonizingly just like, he kind of almost screams, then he collapses in the boat. And I mean, after that point, it's almost like he just mentally broke down the rest of the tournament. And it was just like, wow, that was really something to watch. Because, who's to say? If I were in his position, I'd probably do the same thing. To be able to mentally stay on your game when things are going bad, especially when you know you're losing the lead. You had it and you're losing it. It's just got to be so stressful.
That's one of what you said, the washout effect. That's the thing about it. I mean, that fish I missed the other day on the Rat Benny from Thunderhawk Lures. I know exactly what I did, and literally, I walked 10 steps down and made a cast, and literally, I made the cast, and I had to say to myself, calm down, take a breath,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
don't rip it in like you think, because I made a bad cast the next cast, and I cast it, and then I let it sit. I just said, okay, I need to just focus on what I'm doing, and while I caught a fish out on that cast, it was still one of those things that when you're fishing for $100,000 or the classic $300,000, I think some of that starts to come in play, and I think Kyle has that temperament where it doesn't affect him as much. But having said that, I was really I was really happy to see Jason win. I thought he was deserving it, and you could see the stress relief off Jason when they announced it.
You sure could.
Yeah, you know,
It was
he
huge.
he was. I mean, he doesn't have that kind of. I did an interview with him. I think it's called The Drive with Jason Christie on YouTube, and it was from when we left day one all the way over to back to Tulsa, and all I did was just talk to him about what do you do here, what do you do here, and it's like one of the first. I think I edited it in like iMovie or something. It was one of the first videos I ever did, but it was you really get to hear everything that he's thinking during fishing.
Wow, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the things that just amazes me about this ride that Wheeler's on right now.
Yeah.
Fishing is such a mental game. It's such a huge part of being a successful tournament fisherman is you got to have confidence in yourself. And man, he has got confidence like, golly, like I haven't seen
Like
in a
this
long
week,
time.
Fantasy Cooper, there's a couple people in fantasy fishing that the only reason I picked them is because of momentum of how they're fishing.
Mm-hmm.
That has a huge influence on how you do. If you've been
Yeah.
setting it up for months,
Yeah.
while you can have a good tournament, you're still a little bit you're second guessing everything you're doing. And when you're on fire and doing well, the confidence is building. It's just like, I have confidence that if I have a stick worm on my bait, I will catch fish
Yeah.
without any problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
You put me on something different that I don't know how to do well, like a jig or something like that, my confidence goes way down. I think I can catch fish, but I don't think I'm going to catch fish.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it.
So it's one of those. Like I said, fishing momentum has a lot to do with it, and especially in that video with Jason, I talked to him because he was #1 angler in the world at the time, and on the Fish Ranker, and I said to him, and he says momentum has is a huge thing for how I fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was, at that point in time, I don't even know, 5, 7, 8 years ago, he was just he did everything right.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Gramps, yeah, I have Live Scope for my yak. I haven't installed it yet, but I have it, and I'll probably use it. Yeah, I'll probably use. I'll tell you what pissed me off. I buy this freaking Live Scope, and like 2 months later, they come out with version 2.
Of course.
And I'm like, you people.
Have you put it on the boat?
No, I haven't put it on yet. But it's just like, golly, man, are you people? Why didn't someone have the courtesy to tell me you were going to come out with a brand new unit? 45 days after I bought mine. That's just annoying.
PowerPool's been in the works of having a trolling motor for like 4 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Holy cow.
Well, PowerPool's charging station thing is supposed to be really awesome.
I'll tell you, the trolling motor unit is beyond exceptional.
You've seen it, huh?
Yeah, I fished on a couple boats with it, and I I mean, I was on filming on one, and we had to make sure that everything we filmed was nowhere near the front of the boat because they didn't want anything to be told about it. And they've been working on it for years, but God, it was so nice. Oh God, it was so nice.
So what's the advantage of it, say, over the other new trolling motors out there? Like I have the Lowrance Ghost on my boat, and that thing is just awesome. I absolutely love it.
So if like you had an 80-pound thrust, it boosts it up to start off with.
Okay.
The second thing is it doesn't make a sound. I mean, no sound at all.
Huh? Really?
So, they have it so it's like, you can spot lock it and all that other crap.
Yeah.
But there were times during the day I wasn't sure. I was like, are we, we're drifting pretty fast because we were hitting spots redfishing, and they're like, no, I got the trolling motor on. I'm like, what speed do you have the trolling motor on? Oh, it's at 120. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Where's the sound of this thing? And it's pretty. Who knows when they'll ever get it fixed, get it up and running, because the owner's meticulous about everything being exactly perfect. But it's pretty awesome, even though I'm not an electronics person.
Interesting.
So, what are you going to put the live scope on the boat? Or
well, I'm going to put the live scope. I think I'm going to put it on my yak because I have the Lowrance active target already on my boat. So I don't know. I'm probably not going to put two transducers and move it back and forth. It's just a pain to do that. So I'm probably going to use the Garmin on my kayak and use the Lowrance on my boat.
I would really like to go fishing with someone who knows that live scope and phone.
Yeah, I need to do that too, because I always gravitate towards what's easy for me,
Yeah.
And trying to force myself to learn it's going to be hard to do.
Yeah. But once you do, it'll be awesome for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It'll be awesome. And it'll help you catch more fish.
Yeah, which that's always important.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
When do you guys get to start fishing?
Who?
You guys.
You can fish year round up here.
Oh, I thought it was frozen over. It was too cold.
Well, yeah. I mean, I thought you meant, do we have a season where you're like up north where they're not even allowed to fish, until certain month? We can fish year round, but the ice is off of everything now.
What is?
Yeah. So I went and fished last weekend, a couple of days, and that's when I did the Super 6 sack unboxing, and then I used one of the lipless baits to catch some fish, and that was fun. And then we got snow a couple days later, and the temperatures dropped, and now we're back up. Today it was close to 70 degrees today.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna go out this weekend.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So should be fun.
Yeah, it's so weird to hear that everybody else isn't fishing still. There's still.
Yeah. We're really not. I mean, it's just getting started.
Yeah, you guys are like pre-spawn, and we're past spawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're pre-spawn for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's just, it's dumbfounding to me. Here it is. I went to go fish this afternoon. We talked, and I was like, I have a set goal to do. I need 5 minutes. I'm not trying to catch a fish. I have 5 minutes I need of just filming something for an idea I have. So I start driving over there. It starts raining. I'm like, I'm going to Publix. But then, 5 minutes later, it's beautiful, sunny out. And I'm like, what the hell? We're already in the summer. Like during the summer here, it rains every afternoon at like 3 to 4 every day. And
really?
Yeah. So
So what about you said that you had tornado headed towards you yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday we've had a weird weather year this year. It seems like usually we don't get as much rain this time of the year that we have.
Uh-huh.
The frog pond's usually 4 or 5 feet down right now. And I would say right now the frog pond is probably like dead perfect for water. It's not over. I mean, it would be nice if it was a little higher, but you can walk around the edge and not have to worry about, like, I know everyone loves to see those stupid booties that make fun of me.
Yeah.
I don't have to wear booties right now. I can wear my regular black suit.
It's not just the booties, it's the booties and the shorts combined. That is just sexy, man. That's that's that's
that have never been spoken. Steve Chapman and sexy.
Holy crap, man. I never thought I'd say that, but after seeing that, whoo.
Well, you should see the suntan on my feet have never seen the sun. I am not joking.
Really?
I have the worst farmer's tan on my feet that you've ever seen. Like,
really?
I could run and get the photo. We took like these family photos years ago, and then we're all like dressed in like blue shirts or white shirts and blue pants. Everyone looks great. We're like, making poses and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you see this beautiful tan on me, and then it's just complete, like white, like this, right at my ankle down, and it's so disturbing that you think to yourself, I wonder if somebody photoshopped that.
So you're not a flip-flop fisherman then?
No. Well, you want to know what the problem? I respect everyone who does do that, but we have a lot of fire ants down here.
Oh, really?
And I have a thing where, I mean, you know this. I have a lot of germ phobias, germ phobias on my feet. But smacking bugs off of my feet, I don't like. So
yeah, that
I
makes
have neon white feet, Josh. Thank you. So yeah,
that's interesting. The sun is definitely your enemy out there fishing. You need to protect your body from it.
Yeah.
When I was young, I didn't care much, but now I'm at an age where don't mess around with the sun, man.
I got that sunburn a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
and it literally it hurt everywhere. I mean, I wasn't even sunburned on my back, and my back was like, ah! I was making all sorts of, horrible faces, and it was, I usually wear a mask, like, like up to here, and then I get around my ears and head and that kind of stuff. And you don't realize when it's on, it's the middle of the winter here, not really winter, but it's cooler, how much the sun really still affects the whole day. And really the sun is what beats you up more than anything. And in that day that I was out fishing with Patrick, the wind was so much in our face the whole day. I felt like the reason why I was burnt was because I had a wind burn. And then we came in and did the show, and everyone's like, Steve looked like a lobster, or all sorts of stuff. So that's when I was like, okay, I need to do this a little differently from here on out.
Mike, we were asking this question earlier. I mean, how does he get a rat Benny before I do?
I got 5.
How does he get one? And how does he get one before you? You're like Chief Thunderhawk, man.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And I got this one.
Holy crap.
Oh, I like this one.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect color, huh? This one's the one I normally, this would be the one I fish.
Yeah, is it black?
The white one, even though I don't have it anymore, the white one was the one that killed everything.
Oh, yeah. That color, did it have just white? It looked like it had some yellow on it.
I don't have it with me. It kind of
reminded me of this little guy here that I have. Just looking at your pictures, but I don't have a rat Benny. I mean, this is about the closest size, I'd say, but I got to get my hands on that and try that.
So the tail just swings really nice. I'll open this one up. So it's not very big.
Oh yeah, it isn't. It's much more compact. Oh man, old Mike's out there firing people now. Don't cross him on the rat bennies.
So I would say that. So I went out to go film this,
Yeah.
and the thing that really surprised me, because I looked at it and I thought, well, it's got to be a topwater bait. It really is about, and it goes it dives about an inch. But the thing that I was so surprised about it was it thumps. It has that thumping action like a jackhammer on
Huh.
your rod tip. So
It
the
looks
rod
like
tip is just going boom, 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 boom the whole time.
it looks like a pretty big hook on that thing.
Oh yeah, the hooks are crazy. Hold on.
Yeah. Is there
So
only one hook?
yeah, just one hook.
One treble hook.
I don't think you need any more. The way I did it, and they give you a spare tail. I don't know how the tail goes back in. They give you a spare tail.
Okay, yep, that's
And
good.
they all have black tails. I think they all have black
You
tails.
definitely need spare tails for rats. I mean, you're going to lose them.
So yeah, it was one of those. It was an amazing surprise. I mean, it was an amazing surprise.
It looked really fun.
This was like one of those. Have you ever went fishing and just you go fishing with something new and you just go, holy snikes.
Yeah, yeah.
What have I like?
That's what happened. That's what happened with this guy the first time I ever fished it.
Same with me.
It's like, what?
Yeah, when I fished the first time I fished that, I thought to myself, where have I been? With that one, like I said, as soon as I mean, the bait didn't go 3 feet. If that's 3 feet, the bait didn't go 3 feet, and a bass hit it and came out of the water to kill it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I was like, "What?" There's like as many lures as we see. There's very few times that you just go, okay. Like I don't keep texts, but I think my exact text to Mike was, "WTF? You have no idea what you have in your hands."
Yeah, that's good. That's the kind of thing a guy wants to hear.
And then I think his text back was, "What are you talking about?"
uh,
And it just was. I mean, it was just awesome.
He's got several baits like that are kind of really kind of game changer baits. That Sergeant lipless crankbait is pretty freaking awesome. I cannot believe how well it stands up on its own.
Yeah, I like swivel hooks on that more than anything.
Yeah.
Like about that square bill. That's actually in my.
That reminds me. I still have a code over there. If you guys want to use it for Thunderhawk lures, if you want to go get some rat bennies, he said that Mike says they're in stock on the website right now. Mr. Bass 20, you can get 20% off of the old rat benny lure. I'm going to have to use that myself.
Yeah, I was surprised on it. It was a really nice surprise because I was using that, and then, man, this bait has been killing me for to do top water. These DeLong snakes.
Oh yeah.
They smell like licorice. I'll be honest. They work really great. I don't know why a camera can't pick it up.
Yeah, that makes no sense. The thing's huge. Why wouldn't you be able to pick that up?
I don't know if it's a purple. I don't know what it is. The drone will pick it up. The good camera, which I don't even know where the good camera is. I think it's in the car. No, I can't pick it up at all. All you see is the head, and then you see the wake of it going like this. You can't see it at all. So I might have to go over to somebody's pool. And I hate asking people to borrow their pool. Not that they have that. Nobody minds it, but still.
Makes sense.
So yeah, that's one of them. Okay, can we talk about something that we need to start next week for sure?
Yeah. Let's do that.
We are going to do a March Madness style of the top, what we think is the top 32 anglers.
Right, top 32.
We'll do, let's say, 4 a week.
Yeah, 4 a week sounds
We're
good.
going to take one person.
Yep.
I'm going to take the other person.
Right.
We're going to debate each other.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have the viewers pick who they think won the debate and should move on.
Right. That's
I'm
right.
going all out. I'm just going to tell you now.
I know it. You're wired and ready. You're going for the throat.
We're always friends, but it's cutthroat.
It's cutthroat. In fact, just to show you how cutthroat he is, he's been working on this for like 6 months. I haven't even started.
for at least 4.5 months. So what I think I'm going to do is I'll send you I'll take a picture of my notes, and then what I'll do is just pick the people you want, or pick 32 of them. Any of them that you don't know that are saltwater anglers, because there are a couple saltwater anglers. If you don't want them on the list, then that's cool. And then if there's ever a saltwater versus a freshwater, I'll always take the saltwater person, just to help you out.
All right, good. I don't know any of the saltwater guys.
Yeah. So that's good. Texas Huntsman said my FTC came in today. It is money this time. When isn't it money?
Yeah. I wonder when I'm getting mine. I haven't even gotten an email or anything saying mine's shipped. So I don't know what's going on there.
I'd text Vic.
I think I will.
Yeah.
What's going on, Vic?
Yeah. So like I said, after it, then you guys can pick who you want, who you think is the winner. And if you lose, you lose. It's just for fun anyway. But it'll be fun as we weed out some of those other people.
Yeah.
But we're going to do it. I'm going to put it in like a drawing machine. So there's a chance like Bill Dance could get stuck up against KVD in the first round.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So that's where this will be really good if some of those matchups happen like that.
Yeah.
So it'll be.
I'm just going to put it out there for the record right now. I get Randy Blockett on my team, dude. Don't even think about it. He's mine.
He's not in that list. He's not in the top 1,000, in my opinion. No offense, Randy. I'm joking, of course. But no, top 32. It's a tough list, man.
When I start debating with you about who is the master of the super secret, never before seen technique, I am gonna win, hands down.
You are one hands down.
That's right.
So we're gonna do that next week, but we also have we got an interview with someone next week too. So we'll have to rush through some of that.
Yeah.
Because I think we'll need to spend a good hour with this person. So
okay, so one thing I want to, are we done talking about that, or we want to keep talking about that some more?
No, we're done.
Okay. I talked about this on my show last night, and I wanted to get your opinion. What do you think of old Christie's jig? This is Jason Christie's winning jig right here. The War Eagle Jiu-Jitsu jig and a little Yum craw trailer. That's what he caught him on.
I thought he caught him on his spinner bait.
No, this is the last day.
Okay.
This is what he was throwing day 3, basically, when he won the tournament. Flipping docks.
There's none of those for sale at all right now.
Yeah, probably aren't any for sale. I picked mine up at where did I buy these?
How much was it?
$6 for the jig.
Good price.
And the Yum baits are always cheap. Yum's as competitively priced as they come. The craw chunk, I bought these at Bass Pro, both of them. But this is the color he was fishing too, down there.
Yeah, good color.
Green pumpkin orange.
So,
do you fish a jig much?
So I've just started to fish a jig.
Okay.
The last 2 or 3 months. I'm not good at it, but I've had to learn what I've tried to do is I've tried to become a little bit better rounded angler. Not no, I should say I'm not that successful. I used the grunt from Thunderhawk the other day and killed him. Just
Yeah.
flat out killed him. But I was swimming it. I was
Okay.
just casting and swimming it and maybe twitching it every now and then. I did a whole bunch of shorts on them. I mean, they wouldn't let it go by them without hitting it. So I need to have a little bit more confidence in that bait is the problem.
Yeah.
Down here, a lot of people flip and pitch and punch.
Yeah.
But it's, if you fish from the shore, you don't really punch and flip. You know what I mean?
No, right.
So it's something I need to do a little bit better. I need to be better at. I guess that's the best way to put it. Do you use a jig a lot?
Yeah, I do actually. I really like flipping and pitching jigs. I fish dirty jigs and jewel bait jigs mostly, but I'm gonna try throwing some of these War Eagle jigs as well.
I can tell you, if Jason made it, it's probably unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't know if it's really his or not because it's a War Eagle. Is he sponsored by War Eagle? I didn't think he was.
I don't think he is,
but I don't know. It's a
I
War
bet
Eagle
you're
jig.
doing him now.
Yeah. They might want to hook up now because there's going to be a lot of people buying that jig.
Well, a couple of years ago when Edwin won, he was using a jig that nobody had heard of. I don't even remember the name of it. And he won the classic, and they sold $7 million worth of jigs over the next year.
That's insane. That is insane. Well, the way the supply chain and stuff works, I hope War Eagle's stocked up.
Yeah,
because that could be a problem.
There's so many people still having a problem getting product in. That it's kind of still, it's a little weird, worrisome that we still are. I mean, I go to wherever I go, I'm still seeing shelves unstocked, and it's like, what's going on now, man?
I know there's a lot of that going on. I mean, it's just like my Dr. Pepper. It's uncalled for. It's un-American. How are gas prices down there where you're at, by the way?
So gas prices today was $4.29.
Holy crap! Yeah, we haven't even hit $4 yet, but we're close.
Yeah, dude, in all honesty, who the hell knows? Oil prices are less than $100 a barrel. How are we at $4 a gallon?
Yeah, I don't get that at all. I thought oil price was like a $1.30 a gallon now. I mean, 130 a barrel. Last I checked.
2 days ago, it was under 100.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, California is like $7 a gallon now.
I know.
But they have all these gas taxes on top of, that's a huge part of what you're paying for is the gas taxes are higher on the West Coast. I don't know if they are, and I'm sure they are on the East Coast as well. But yeah, Fort 19 in Southeast Michigan.
We have a lot of taxes down here on gas.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I drove into a gas station, and the gas station was empty at a Circle K.
Oh, really?
And it was like, what? Well, there it is, $96 a barrel last they saw.
Okay. So it's come way down really quick. That's a good sign, actually.
Yeah. It kind of hurts everybody at over $4 a gallon.
It does. It's going to make prices go up everywhere because everything you buy has to be shipped in a truck or a train.
Yes.
And they burn fossil fuels. So
it's kind of ridiculous that gas prices are this rate. I read something today that said over the last, I don't even know how many months it was, that our food costs have went up 8.9% or 7.9 or 8.9% over the last couple months.
Yeah, I know. It's
like
crazy.
And it has no effect on that. That isn't even taking into effect, gas prices now.
You know what, though? 20 years ago, when I was stationed in Germany, gas prices there were $5, $6 a gallon back then.
Yeah.
We were lucky in the military because they gave us what they called fuel coupons, and I could take Army fuel coupons to the gas stations out on the economy, and I only paid like $1.20 a gallon, and it was $6 a gallon back then. It was crazy.
Yeah. Did you see this thing? Can someone talk about kayak safety and good brands, please? I'm going to lead that one just for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, kayak safety is totally different than good brands. I mean, I don't know what your question you're asking when it comes to kayak safety. The safest thing about, I mean, the thing to keep about in mind when you're thinking about kayak safety is stability, how stable your boat is, and what kind of water you're going to be fishing on. And if you're going to fish a lot out of a kayak, I wouldn't just go buy one off the shelf. I would most of these don't go to Walmart or any of these retailers to buy a kayak. Go to a local kayak shop and ask them for a demo, and they will take you out on the water and let you try their boats. And you can stand up and rock back and forth and really test it and see, because you'd be amazed at how unstable some of these boats are. And this is the biggest problem with a kayak, in my opinion, is you're going to get wet in a kayak, period.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a dry experience. So you got to be prepared for that. But the second thing is you will dump your kayak at some point. You want the most stable kayak you can possibly get so that does not happen very often.
Yes.
And then, of course, you've got to wear some sort of a PFD, personal flotation device. And don't risk it, man. Don't risk it.
Yep.
And then once you get a kayak and you get out on the water, practice jumping out and getting back on by yourself in the water. You really need to practice that in a safe environment so that if you get thrown out in a dangerous environment, you can figure out how to get back in your boat. It's much harder than it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Much harder. And then
down.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I do anytime I'm on public waters, I have this big orange flag up there that I put up there for people to see. You'd be amazed how often they cannot see you.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be seen. So I have that orange flag, and I also wear a red life vest because red is it's very easy to see red from far distance, much easier on our eyes. So don't go with a black vest or something dark. Get something bright so people can
see. It doesn't work.
That's right. You want to be seen.
Yeah.
And then if you want to not talk about the best brands out there, in my opinion, it depends upon what you're looking for. But Old Town is fantastic. I've owned Jacksons, Old Towns, Natives, and Hobies. And the Old Towns are fantastic for the money. What you get for the money, they're just awesome boats. And that autopilot one, the autopilot that has the trolling motor in it, is it's awesome. It's one of the best kayaks I've ever been. I absolutely love it. I really like Hobie as well. One thing I would say as kind of a warning out there, Hobie has a new boat out called the what's that thing called? I've got one of them. I should know what the thing's called. Lynx, the Hobie Lynx. It's amazing. It's light, it's nimble, it's fast, it's stable, it's incredible. But it's made out of a product that is kind of like I think it's like a foam wrapped in a skin, and they're having problems with the skin separating, and Hobie's not really warranting it. It's a problem. They're not backing that thing up the way they should. I love my Lynx, but if you're on a limited budget and you can't afford to have a damaged kayak, do not buy a Hobie Lynx. If you want a Hobie, buy the other boats until they get that thing fixed. The Lynx is a credible boat. It's amazing, but they got serious problems with quality in their skin. So anyway, that's a few suggestions out there.
There you go. Okay, have you been turning in your fantasy fishing lineup?
I did for a few tournaments. I did. The last one I did was for the Classic, and I haven't done one after that.
Yeah, Santee Cooper's starts tomorrow.
I need to get mine in then, because I think I've been killing it. I've been beating everybody. I'm gonna go on right now while we're talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on too. So hold on.
I've been killing it, man. You guys don't want me on here because you can't compete, man. It's not even a competition.
Yeah. Is it fantasybassmaster.com?
Yeah, something like that. I'm
No,
trying to find it here. Fantasy.
They changed the website up on this thing, and it isn't where it used to be.
It is bassmasterfantasy.com.
Yeah, there.
Bassmasterfantasy.com. And what a fantasy it is. I have 2,147 points.
Oh, you're doing good.
And let me tell you how good I am. My rank is 22,440. Try to get higher than that.
In only 2 tournaments.
Yeah, it's incredible. My track record is enviable. It's amazing. There's only 9 hours left to get your deals in for the Santee Cooper. All right, period 4. So I'm going to pick mine right now. Group.
Yeah, do this. I'd like to hear who you're picking.
All right, Group A. I'll share my screen so that everybody can see. They can see the. These would be the same ones that you have to choose from.
I want to know why you're picking them, though.
In case people don't know what we're talking about. Is this it here? Yeah, this is it. All right.
Make us small. They don't need to see us.
All right. Now I gotta take our overlay off because that's totally wonked up. All right. So here is for Santee Cooper, Group A. Now Stetson Blaylock almost won the Classic, so he looks like a pretty good choice, wouldn't you think?
Look what he's done this year. 2 top 10s already.
2 top 10s. Yeah. They give you some stats here. 3 top 50s, 3 top 35s, 2 top 10. I don't know if that's this year though.
It is.
It is this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me switch a couple pages back.
His rank is number 1.
Yeah, because he's the angler of the year so far.
Okay, so I'm not much of a fantasy fisherman, but do odds play into this thing? So, for example, if you were to pick a guy that's really down on the rankings, like right now, it looks like Bernie is the lowest ranked on this page.
Yeah,
he's ranked 54th, so he's a long shot, right?
Yeah.
If I pick him, and he wins, do I get like way more than if I picked Stetson?
No.
He wins.
Only 3.03% of the people that are playing pick Bernie.
Interesting.
So you want to know what? Bernie's had a 5th, a 25th, and a 29th there. And honestly, I talked to Bernie in depth about that tournament. He was leading, and his fish ran out on him on the last day.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't know if you told me that before. Seems like we talked about that on a previous show. I'll tell you what, I'm rolling the dice. I'm going with Bernie, man.
I don't think that's bad.
I got him.
I don't think that's a bad deal. I mean, I think the weird one here is I'm surprised how many people have Cox at 22.1%.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that's bad, but last time he fished here, he came in 22nd.
All
Uh,
right. So who are you picking in Group A?
I took David Mullins.
David Mullins. Okay, he's down here towards the bottom. I thought I saw him. Here he is, right here.
Yeah.
David Mullins. He's a number 2 seed.
And
825
David
points.
Mullins is because he's had 3 top 10s.
3 top 10s. Okay. All right. So let's go to Group B now.
Cox is due. I agree with that.
Group B, we've got.
Brandon Palaniuk won it last time on that Group A, by the way.
Yeah, well, he's not ranked very good on this one here. 21st is not bad.
That's how many people have him. Oh, yeah, 21st in the Angler of the Year.
Yeah.
Remember he had a bad first tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to B now.
B.
All right. B. Huh. Who you got for B here?
I have Austin Felix in this one.
Austin Felix. Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
But
Okay, so you're kind of going against the grain on this one.
I think I'm going against the grain on almost all of them.
Are you?
Yeah, this one was hard because honestly, Patrick Walters has done so well here, but Austin finished 4th last time he was there. Bill Lowen finished 6th last time he was there. Patrick finished 11th, so that's why I stuck with Austin, even though it's going to fish differently. Austin, that young man is really, really good fisherman. So, like, I can see everyone taking. You want to know what the surprise in this one is? That only 3.9% of the people took Prosnick. That's a shock to me.
Yeah, that kind of shocks me as well because he's definitely on my short list.
And Brian New is on fire. That kid fishes great everywhere.
Yeah, I think I
don't know.
Brian New had a very good classic as well. He was leading after day 1.
Yep.
He's got a great attitude. He's super likable. So he probably would be a good choice actually. But I'm going to go. I'm going to kind of go against the grain a little bit here too, and I'm going to go with Scott Martin.
Okay. I like it.
Okay, and now Group C, Jason Christie. He's so busy doing interviews right now, man. I'd keep him off the list for a while, to tell you the truth. That's just me.
Yep.
I would not even consider him at the moment.
This was there's a couple tough. I thought it's hard to pick some of these guys, and I think I took Matt Herron in this one.
Yeah, I got my eye on him as well.
Where is it? Herron finished 15th and 2nd in an open there.
Oh, he did, huh?
Yes. All around great fisherman. I think a lot of people are taking Johnston here or Chris Johnston here.
Yeah.
I can see him doing real well. Seth Fighter. It's him, Angler of the Year. And Jason Christie is just Jason Christie.
He is. I actually think I'm going to kind of go with the crowd a little bit here. I'm going to go with Chris Johnston.
Bad one either.
That's he's a much better northern fisherman, but I've been watching him, and it seems like each year he gets better and better down south.
Oh,
he actually made a run. He was competitive at the Classic.
He is an absolutely amazing angler.
He really, really is, and I predict that he's going to break through and win one of these Southern tournaments at some point. I don't know when.
He almost won the Florida one a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Seth Fighter's the same way. They used to say Seth can only win up north, and he's proven that wrong now.
Yeah.
Seth has become an all-around really good angler everywhere.
I think the 3 anglers I have in the top 3, Mullins, Felix, and Herron, if you put their percentage together, they don't even equal 10% of the thing over 3 of them.
Interesting. So who did you pick? You picked Matt Herron for.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to D. D, you got Justin, Hank.
Yep. Iconelli.
Yeah, I don't.
Luke Palmer. Oh, God, I like that kid. I like
I'll
that.
tell you who I'm going to go with on this here. I've actually fished a tournament with this guy at I was his co-angler at Table Rock Lake. He's a heck of a stick, and he really had a couple of tournaments last year. He did really well. The tournament that Bill Lowen won, where was that, at Pickwick?
Yep.
Brock Mosley.
How many? He had like 3 second places last year.
Yes. He's a good stick.
Good, really fantastic angler.
Yeah. I again, he's another one that I think is going to break through at some point.
I took Iconelli in this one.
Really?
I did.
I love Iconelli. I think he's amazing for the sport, and I think he's got great YouTube, a ton of stuff. But I just kind of don't see him being very competitive at this point in his career. Now, that being said, he did win on the Delaware a few years ago, but that was his home water.
Yeah.
And he did I think he may have won a kayak tournament, or
yeah, he did.
Or he was real competitive. So, he's a fierce competitor, but he's a businessman. He spends so much of his time building the business that I just, he's like Taco Ito or whatever his name is. They were talking about him in the Classic and about how this guy does nothing in his life except fish.
Yes.
He has no personal life,
none,
no family commitments, no hobbies, no nothing. He fishes 24/7.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of these young guys that are doing that way more than the KVDs and the Mike Iconellis, and they're so beyond
tunnel focused.
Yeah, they're so beyond scratching to win tournaments, that I just don't. I don't see. I'm not saying Iconelli couldn't win one. I just wouldn't put my money on him.
So I love your pick here. That's the God's honest truth. The only reason I took Iconelli is he's having a horrible year.
Yeah, he is.
And I just feel like he needs, he didn't fish the Classic. Some of his social media stuff, he's been doing fairly decent in practice. It's like Palaniuk said he thought the winning weight was going to be 92 or 94 pounds.
Really?
That says that Palaniuk thinks Palaniuk might be on him. But for whatever reason, Iconelli's had some good tournaments out there. He had an 18th and the 31st, and that's the only I took him. That's the only reason.
Uh-huh.
But Luke Palmer in that group, I bet you is going to bite me in the ass. Luke Palmer is a good fisherman, and that he should not be in Group D. He should not be in Group D. He is much better than what being in this group. So,
is there here's a good question for you. Is there anybody in this list here that you don't know?
When I start looking at some of these guys, there's a couple people that I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
I think I've met Shane, but I don't know Jonathan at all. Everybody else, and Maddie Wong, I've never met Maddie.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Everybody else I have in my phone. I think.
I don't know a few of these guys, but
there's a couple. The next group, there's a lot I don't know.
Interesting. All right, let's go to the last group.
And this is the group I'm killing myself on. Because I said I'd never pick him, and I picked him.
Yeah. This one is a little tougher here.
Yes.
Like
Todd Auten, David Fritz, Skylar Hamilton, Carl Jacobson. How is he on this one? Stephen Kennedy. Hunter Schreirock, and Jesse's like right around the corner from me. Frank Talley. I think the crazy one in here is, how does Kyle Welsher get in this group? coming
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
How is he in this group?
Look at that. 32% have picked him.
And he came in 32nd last time he was there.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Huh.
That one's a shocker. I don't know. I mean, I know he hasn't had a great start of the year, but he doesn't deserve to be in this last group. I mean, no.
I agree with you. Well, the same with Hunter. Hunter
Yeah.
Shyrock probably shouldn't be in this group.
There's some guys deserve to be down there, but there's a couple on there. Hunter's a good friend. Kyle shouldn't be on there, but this is the one that kills me. I took Stephen Kennedy. I hate that I took Stephen Kennedy.
Yeah, I thought about him. Steve's won some tournaments. He could do it.
Yeah.
What's his best finish so far on Santee Cooper?
13th and a 4th.
Yeah, 13th and a 4th. Interesting.
Yeah. Welsher finished. Oh, no, he's 32nd. Sorry. I had something else written down. Hunter Shyrock finished 29th. Paul Mueller, I don't think he should be on there, finished 33rd.
Mm-hmm.
So those were the guys that really stuck out to me. Todd Auten had a 48th, 86th, and 85th.
I'm not picking him.
Yeah. I think to Welsher, Hunter, and Stephen Kennedy in this one.
Me too. I think I'm going to go.
Yeah, I love Hunter. I love his brother too, Fletcher. God.
Yeah.
The first time I met them was at the Classic, and they were not fishing the Classic, and I gave Fletcher such a hard time for not making the Classic. He probably still to this day doesn't like me, but it's life. But I was just busting his chops nonstop.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
We shall see. Probably, people, if you were paying attention, I just picked the 5 winners. Big money. Big money. Big money.
You picked them off the top of your head. That's what it. That's right.
That's right. That's it.
So, well, that goes on tomorrow morning, which will be fun to watch. I know the water level is up crazy high. I think Texas Huntsman said, our boy said that it rained a lot up there, so it's going to be dirty water. And then, like Jim said, they group them in AOI standings, not prior showings at the lake. Yeah, because that's the best way to do it, because someone could slide down there. Kennedy hasn't had the greatest year, but he's done well there. So that's how I kind of go with it. I kind of look at the past experience. And really, I mean, look at the amount of notes I take on that crap.
Yeah, geez Louise, dude.
A little dumb pictures.
Very impressive. Nice. You are one talented dude, man. It's been 2 hours.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, it has.
Can you believe it?
Great.
And there's still a few hanging on. We lost quite a few over the 2 hours, but compared to our peak, but there's still some hanging. So thanks, everybody, for torturing yourself. We appreciate it. So what do you got coming up this week, Steve?
I think so I've been putting videos up for the members ahead of time. And so they get to see it way before everybody else.
Right on.
Way ahead of time. They're seeing 3 or 4 weeks ahead of everybody.
Cool.
I think. So I think this week, I have to look. I think the next video that comes up is going to be, the chick magnet will be Saturday.
Nice. The Andy Morgan crankbait.
Yep. And then, of all things, there's a lot of frogs coming up. Like, I didn't get to film frogs for like 3 or 4 or 5 months. So I didn't realize I had like 14 or 15 frog drone videos I had to do.
Wow.
I went out on a beautiful day and filmed all of them at one time. So I just got to sit down and do work and do that. But
cool.
There's a lot of frog videos coming up.
Sweet.
So, Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have Mike on the show Saturday night, and we'll talk about those grunt jigs.
I'll be
That's
there
fun.
sure to talk smack and to make fun of things.
Right on.
I think I'm better as a comment person than I am as a live person.
I think you're doing good. You're great on the live.
I
You got 15 years of solid live experience, man.
Some of the things I can say in the chat is much easier than live.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's harder than it looks, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to keep your eye over there and see what's going on and still keep your motion, your track on what's going on. So,
really true.
What you got going on this week? More unboxings anymore?
Maybe. I've got the fish tools I need to do, and I haven't done my LTB Elite yet.
What?
I mean, my MTB Elite.
Oh my gosh! Lucky Tackle Box came out with an Elite box? No.
No, they've got an XL box. That XL box was on fire yesterday.
Was it?
Actually, I wanted to light it on fire and throw it out. That's what I wanted to do. But
on your neighbor's door and light it.
Yeah, I know it. Jeez Louise. That was crazy. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you hopping on. Steve, close us out.
Take a kid fishing, get your fish on, and
happy fishing.
Yes.
Bye-bye, everybody.